doing another video on my 2017 Keystone Cougar 26 RLS fifth wheel. We're going to take the table out and find our location that we want to put the outlet. I have a plastic box that I'm going to put in. I have an elbow that's going to go down and out underneath. We'll see how that all works out. Right, so I found the center of my hole. In line with that, I drilled my hole. So I have the appropriate sized hole saw. That's one I had from another job project. So I'm going to make a hole. Alright, so I made my hole. Scary. I'm going to put that guy about like that for an outlet. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I have a piece of pipe sticking out. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to put that into there. That's about where it's going to end up. And I'm going to run outside and see what it looks like. Okay, so now I'm under the camper, and here's my pipe that I just stubbed through from up above, and it's 3 inches of gap that I have where a big gasket touches right here. 3 inches is right at the bottom of that piece of pipe. That's 2 7/8, 2 3/4. So I think we may have room. So I have a way of testing it. So you can see it from there coming in. It looks good. Wow. Alright, so I haven't moved it yet since from being outside. It's about where I want it. So I'm going to make a mark just so I have a reference, but also I don't have it glued in yet, so I'm going to mark where it is. So I'm going to mark the pipe. Here's the front, and here's the front. So when I glue it in, I'm going to line up those 2 lines and everything will be fine. Okay, so there it is, pointing a little bit too much towards the wall, but that is not the end of the world. This is where being a plumber and a little pipe experience comes in handy. So hold on a second. So now I'm sitting there. Right. There. So I have the exact right angle to make it right. I just got to let it cool off a little bit. It'll harden up again, and everything will be groovy. There, it has a little bend to it. Okay. I'm going to keep that bend. I'm going to go cool it off with water. There. That's where that's going, just like that. Okay, I just got to put a screw in. Alright. Little piece of plastic tubing. I have a female adapter that I got at Lowe's, and then a SJ cord connector. Here we go. It's got a rubber insert on it that's going to compress around the SJ cord, and everything will be fine. Now this SJ cord is something I had laying around, and it is stranded 12 gauge copper. It's basically an extension cord that I had, and it needs to be stranded because of the movement that's going to be occurring when this camper slide out is also moving. If you use solid wire, you tend to stand a chance of breaking the wire. Okay, so you can see the spring is here. I'm going to put the wire up here. I don't like the way this is rubbing on things, so I think I'm going to put a piece of this on there. So I'm going to use, just going to cut a short piece off here. I got this is 1 inch wire loom, and it was kind of pricey at Napa, but for some reason, I think they even have it at Lowe's, probably a lot cheaper. I have another smaller package of smaller diameter that was a lot cheaper. But okay, so I got my wire loom on. Okay, so now I have it all made up. I got my relief here and here between the tie wraps. I've got this all made up. The spring is in. I've got my little protection, a little protection on the flap here for the rubber gasket. So now, let's see what happens. Okay, I got a little adjusting to do. Okay, so I went to Lowe's and I got a few parts and pieces to hang this piece of pipe across the bottom of the camper to get this wire from one side to the other. So I have some clips and I'll show them to you and we'll get this thing going. All right. Here's my EMT that I'm running across the bottom of the camper, and here's an EMT hanger. This is PVC underground piping that I had in the barn. So it is going to go like so, right? And I'm going to be able to bolt this to it, to the hanger. Now I have a beam clamp to do the job. Here it is right here. So here's a beam clamp. It has a bolt on one side and a thread on the other, and so we're going to go like that and hang this piece of pipe like so. Okay, and the beam up there is going to go right in the jaws here. So the other thing I have is, see that? And so that is going to go in there, ding, and it's going to hold it just so. And then let's see if I can move you up carefully. Right about there. This guy is going to go on here like that. So we're looking at the slide out side. I'm on the passenger side looking towards the driver's side. The slide out is sticking out and you can see the 3/4 inch PVC underground piping I have over there, and then I got an elbow on it. I shoved the cord through it and pointed it up and into the floor behind the heater, or beside the heater, and just behind the power panel. Alright, so this is under the refrigerator. The heater is there. I took one of the hoses out just to get a bearings underneath, but anyway, the wire came up right there. Let's see if I can get a bit. There we go. So I drilled a hole from up here down, because I had a good idea where I was at, and drilled down, and you saw where it came out down below. Alright, so I just fished it through, and there's there. Oop. So I have my connector on here. I punched out the knockout, put that through, and I'll put the nut on and make it up and make it in. and we'll have a outlet. I bought a breaker today. You can see a 2-pole breaker was $21 at Camping World. I got a 20 amp and a 15 amp. This is 12 gauge, so I can use 20 amp for that one outlet. Alright, so I'll get it dressed up and I'll show you the landing, the wires. So I am making up my wire connections here, and here's the breaker I bought at Camping World. 2-pole, right? So there's a bus bar here, and there's the grab over here, the hold down, and so there's a hinge point here. It just hooks in, and you snap it into place right next to it. It goes right next to it, the existing one. So you put it in there, snap it in. That's it. That's all it takes. There's not much to it at all. Now it's time to make up my receptacle. I'll probably end up putting a GFI in there, but I just wanted to get that going for now. And I have a receptacle I'm going to put in there. I'm sorry, a plug. The spiffy plug I got at Lowe's. They rotate. I thought it would be pretty cool to have that. Okay, so I have the cover on, the outlet in. Here's my device. Plug that in. Ta-da! That should be groovy. Ta-da! We're done. Okay. On to the next project, I guess. Put everything back together. Okay, cheers.